Hey everyone, so today we are going to be installing a 130 amp alternator onto my 1987 Mustang, and the alternator that's on here right now is a recently replaced, remanufactured, just the standard 75 amp. So I have the 130 amp upgrade kit from SVE over there in the box. And so basically the first thing is you disconnect the battery like I did and pretty much just pull the alternator off. There will be some modification of the mounting bracket, which I'll try to show. I'll do my best at least. Alright, so to get the alternator off, the first thing that we're going to have to do is remove the serpentine belt, which can be done with a serpentine belt removal tool on the pulley here, which I'll show that. And then we have 3 bolts, 1, 2, 3, to remove the alternator. Now I'm going to use a, what is this, 14 millimeter, 16 millimeter, just for this one bolt here, and then 14 millimeter for the other 2 bolts. All right, now this belt is already brand new. I put it on just a couple, like 2 weeks ago maybe, so we're going to reuse it. So now that the serpentine belt is out, we'll go on ahead and crack those 3 bolts. There's another tool I wanted to show you guys. This is just your standard paint can lid opener. I have found that it's really useful for pulling connectors, and I already busted this one loose, but I'll try to show you guys how I use it on the other connector. Now, what I wanted to show you here was my little tool. Basically, it gets down into those spaces that are hard to reach, and just like that, popped it off. I don't know if anyone else uses this. This worked for me. Quick note here, this car, I did not do all this wiring mess, but anyway, I've had to deal with a lot of it. Alright, now it's time for the alternator to come the rest of the way out. And there we go. It's out. Well, my garage is an absolute mess, so I'm not even going to show you guys, but what we are going to do here is take the new alternator and we're going to set it beside the old alternator, just to kind of give you a little bit of a visual. Might be hard to tell through the camera, but there is actually a size difference. The 130 amp is bigger than the standard 75 amp. So I'm going to test fit this one and see what, if any, bracket modifications I need to do, and we'll go from there. Alright, I need to make a correction here. That third bolt down on the bottom, it would appear that I did not have to remove it. So before you guys give me a lot of comments, correcting myself. Also, what is going on right there? When I first cracked that top bolt there, I noticed it was real loose. And what I was going to show you guys was that it's not even the right bolt. It's not long enough. That didn't work out real well. It's not long enough. So if I didn't get any bolts with this kit, which I don't know if I did yet, I'm gonna have to replace it. But that shouldn't be a big deal. Okay, test fit. The bottom bolt for the alternator is in, and the bracket modifications that we're going to have to do looks like I'm going to have to notch out this bracket here. I'm not sure if I'm going to have to notch anything out up here yet. It looks like, so when I flip the alternator over, it looks like I might have enough room comparing to where we're at there, but I don't know yet. Alright, one more correction that I need to make here. The modification that I need to do is actually here. I didn't have the alternator pushed all the way on like I thought it did, so it turns out that I actually have enough clearance down on the bottom part of the bracket here. So this part of the bracket is going to be a lot easier to modify than the other. So basically I'm just going to draw my line and try and notch it out. Alright, so I have my line marked out. Isn't very good. I've got my grinder here. I suspect that my blade is going to be too big, but it's the only one I've got, so we'll try it. Always wear eye protection, and probably ear protection, but we'll go with what I got. So this will work, but I need better eye protection. So hopefully you get the picture. I'm going to do the rest of this off camera because I'm at a weird angle. Alright, we are almost there. I had to do a little bit of modification right here as well, just because it was a real tight fit. But as you can see, we still got a little bit more to do, so I'll keep working at it. Well, I'm trying to beat that rain. But anyway, we are in. So I did get my appropriate modifications made on the bracket here, and then underneath I had to notch it a little bit, and how about that? Fits right in. So I have this bolt here, and it's certainly a lot better than what I had on there, or what was on there. So I think that should work. What I'm going to do is put some washers on the back here to try and shorten up the threads, and also just because washers, it's actually a little bit small, so we'll try to make it work. But now that I've got my modifications done, that was the hard part. Now we just have to do the wiring, which will consist of replacing both of these connectors. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do here yet, because the problem with this car is that this is actually just really bad wiring that someone did before me, and I'm cursed with it. And this is how my push button start works, because what I think, I don't know for sure, is the fusible link over here is blown, and it's the one for the ignition, and I'm wondering if that's actually what my issue is. Yeah, here's the fusible link right here, and it just plugs in right there. Anyway, so that's probably going to be definitely going to be a project for another day. But we'll get on here. So I did come up with some washers, and I'm going to do 2 washers on the back, and then I'm going to do a lock washer on the front. And I'm hoping that will work. And I may actually only have time to get the alternator in. Still got this accidental bolt back in. There you go. Alright, it is starting to rain, but alternator is in. So I'm going to quickly pick up my tools, shut the hood, and go inside until the rain's done. Alright, well, we survived the rain, so pretty much the next step in our process here is cut all this old crap off that we don't need, because we're going to replace both of these connectors. So let's get to it. Alright, so really it is pretty easy. I'm going to cut these 2 orange and black wires off that connector, and then the orange and the green one, I'm sorry, not orange, yellow and green. And then I'm gonna have to figure out how to at least temporarily get this wire plugged back in somehow. It's really only temporary, but if I want to drive the car tomorrow, for example, I need it. So I'm going to cut this connector off, and then I'm going to have to go in and eat dinner. So if I get back to this video tonight, I will. If not, it'll be tomorrow. So anyway, alright, well, it did end up getting dark on me, but I have good lighting. So we are going to press on and try and get this thing wired up so that, well, to be honest, I want to drive it to work tomorrow, but I don't have to, so if we don't get it done, we're still good. Alright, so we have the new stator plug and the regular plug that we need to get wired up, and they make it real easy. Yellow with yellow, green with green, and then there's these two connectors here. These yellow ring terminals will go on the orange and blacks, and then they're gonna go right here on the back of the alternator. Super easy setup. And then, since I got the upgrade kit, I did get the upgraded power cord. I guess that's what you call it. So we're gonna have to run that one, and probably what I'll do is, like they suggest on the SVE, is to run it in front of the radiator. However, I already have a bunch of stuff up in here. I might probably still have room for it. And then they suggest to mount it over here on the fender. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Because I had to put my control box, or yeah, little deal there for the fans on the passenger fender, because, well, there's no room anywhere else. Anyway, we're gonna go on ahead and get all this put together and go from there. Alright, back at the Mustang. Quick update. I tried to continue working on it last night, and the heat shrink connectors that I had pretty much all failed. I didn't crimp them enough, didn't heat shrink them enough, so I'm going to go with what I've got, and we'll keep going putting this thing together. I just about have it done. I'm trying to figure out the routing of this ginormous wire. Right now I kind of have it spun around the back, looping around, I don't know. I have nowhere over there to put the fuse, but I think what I'm gonna probably have to do for now is put it down here in this little hole and then run the wire up by the coil and plug it into the starter solenoid. But we'll get there. Alright, so here we are. Have everything spliced together. I didn't film any of it because I'm sure you guys have seen wires being spliced together before and connectors being plugged in. But in case you haven't, I just, you know, used the little connectors and spliced together, and then I used the plastic covering here and plugged everything in. Our connections are tight, and now I get to figure out how I'm gonna run the big wire. Alright, and we're done. So like I said, I lined it up through here and then dropped it down below the battery into its nice little new home right there, and plugged her right in. So now all I need to do is put my fan belt back on, my serpentine belt, rehook up the battery, put the air filter back on, and I think I might be ready for a test fire. Everything else should be good. One positive indication is that my cooling fans come on now. So let's hope that this beast starts. Here we go.